Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emory Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you an NFL matchup in the AFC between the Oakland Raiders and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now let's look at the Raiders coming all the way to the East Coast, 6-hour flight. You have to look at the fact that the Raiders have to come in and set the pace of the game just like they did against San Diego, just like they did against every other team they played that they've won. They've set the pace. Strong running game, guys. You guys should be able to run the football with some effectiveness against Jacksonville. Jacksonville is a little bit young up front, and you guys have a nasty, aggressive offensive line. Come in with your game plan, pound and ground. That's the big key. Guys, you guys will be able to run off tackle. You guys will be able to run down the middle of that defense. So that's going to be something that's going to be important. Thus, giving Campbell time back there in the pocket to effectively hit those targets like Jacoby Ford and also Lewis Murphy down the field. So that's one thing that's important, guys. Let your run dictate the pace of the entire game, whether it be passing and on defense. Now, speaking of your defense, you have to come in, you have to make sure you stop Maurice Jones-Drew. If you allow Jacksonville to get balanced, that's a tough team to beat down there. These guys are playing hot right now, and it's all because of the legs of Maurice Jones-Drew. If you guys could play up front, stop the run, force Garrard to make plays consistently in the passing game, and that's one thing that's going to help you guys out. You also have to account for those two tight ends. Guys, they have two talented tight ends in Zach Miller and also Mercedes Lewis. So those linebackers and safeties, Huff and also Moses and company, the linebacker, you guys have to make sure you effectively cover these tight ends and make sure these tight ends do not tear up your underneath coverage. Now let's look at Jacksonville coming to this game. The Jaguars are playing well. They're a well-balanced team. They can run the football with some effectiveness. They can run it down the middle or off tackle. These are teams that utilize a lot of different weapons. They have Mike Thomas. They also have those two talented tight ends that we mentioned when talking about the Raiders. So one thing that's important offensively, guys, you just can't turn the ball over. Don't allow the Raiders to get that pressure up the middle of your offensive line and cause problems for the passing game, because that's one thing. If you guys turn the football over, the Raiders have the offense to grind out the clock. And defensively coming in, when you play the Raiders, you have to get nasty against the run, guys. These are big, mammoth offensive linemen that will just love to lean on you guys and aggressively push you guys around on the field. One thing that's important, those linebackers have to beat the Raiders guards to the point of attack, cause problems in those run lanes. Therefore, you'll be able to swarm Michael Bush back there in the backfield and effectively take away the cutback lanes for Darren McFadden. So it's up to you guys to play a little bit close to the line of scrimmage and force Campbell to consistently make plays down the field. Now, regarding their passing game, that's one thing you have to look at. You want to cover. You want to make sure you bracket Jacoby Ford. Is a deep threat. Always keep a safety over top. Do not allow him to roam free back there in that secondary where you guys struggle the most. One thing that's important, bracketing him and keeping that safety high-low on him, that's going to help you guys out a lot, because you guys do have some opportunities with Tyson Alualu to get pressure on the QB. Also, guys, you want to take it with their tight end, Zach Miller. That's a nice safety blanket for Campbell. That's a nice avenue for him, a nice outlet pass for him to throw. So one thing that's important, keep Campbell under the rest, take away his underneath coverage, take away his deep threat, and Campbell will hold the football a little bit too long, and you should be able to get sacks on a quarterback. This is a great game to watch, guys. This is going to be like an AFC wild card matchup. Two teams fighting for playoff lives. Oakland is fighting to stay in the playoff hunt. Jacksonville is holding on to that lead in the AFC South. So this is going to be a tight game, a highly contested game, but I'm going with Oakland, going on the road with that running game. The defense will play aggressive enough to cause enough problems for Jacksonville to cause them to get that extra turnover, that extra possession to maintain the TOP, and they have the field goal kicker in Janikowski that once he's inside the 50, he's within range. So look for the Raiders to come all the way out east on the road and take care of business in probably the best game of the weekend. For more NFL previews, visit footballgameplan.com/NFL or visit our YouTube channel at youtube.com/footballgameplan.